Tonight, is the president turning his back on the middle class? Mounting evidence like rising jobless claims and stagnant wages, flying in the face of Obama's rosy comments on the economy. In fact, the majority of Americans say government policies are not helping their bottom lines. So will Obama's middle-class economics push more people out of the middle class? We're asking Peter Morici, an economist and professor at University of Maryland Smith School of Business, and Republican strategist Brad Blakeman, who served as deputy assistant to President George W. Bush. Welcome to you both. I'll start with you, Peter. Big jobs report out tomorrow. And yet some of the reporting we're seeing now, the ADP report that looks at private sector jobs, disappointing. The weekly jobs numbers, not good. What do you see tomorrow morning?
About 230,000 jobs, which is less than in January and in turn less than in December. Things are trending down. The economy has slowed. And Mr. Obama's policies have a lot to do with that.
Brad Blakeman, let's talk about those policies. You know, I think it's quality of jobs that people are worried about, upset about, concerned about, and income in particular. What is it that the president has done to reduce those expectations?
Well, I think, Gerri, the president has talked about the middle class, but his policies have not affected the middle class in a positive way. Democrats in this town, in Washington, are running all over the place talking about a national minimum wage. You don't get to the middle class by a middle class job. By rather a minimum wage job. And the other thing about Obamacare is there's about $1 trillion sitting on the sidelines. And we believe, and Republicans believe, in the velocity of money. Every time a dollar changes hands amongst the private sector is what gins up the economy, not us sending more money through taxes to the government to spend it. So what Obama doesn't realize is he's created a policy of dependence. 1 out of 5 Americans is on some form of food stamps or public assistance. You don't get to the middle class that way either. So we have to free up money. We have to give people in the private sector the ability to spend it.
I haven't heard velocity of money since I was in business school. Peter, let's get to one of the facts from a Pew Research survey that I found fascinating today. 30% of Americans saying that their finances have yet to recover from the recession. That recession, 6 years in our rearview mirror. When are Americans going to stop feeling the hurt?
Well, when they start getting more and better paying jobs. Median family income is lower today than when Mr. Obama took office. It's lower than just before the financial crisis. Things just simply haven't recovered. There's a lot of anecdotal evidence that low-wage jobs, the McDonald's jobs, are paying a little bit better. But middle-class wages, they haven't moved. What's more, state and local governments are taking bigger bites out of taxes, and everything is harder to do with this terrible bureaucracy he's put on us. You know, if you want a waiver from the health care mandate because you have a good reason, the form is 12 pages long. It's absurd. Everything is that way.
12 pages. That's ridiculous. So another Pew Research survey saying that 72% of folks out there say that government policies that were designed to help the middle class are not doing it. What do you say, Brad?
I say absolutely. Look, there's uncertainty in the marketplace, and when there's uncertainty, people aren't going to act. They're not going to employ people, and there's no incentive to employ under Obamacare a full-time employee when your obligations are such that you're much better off hiring a few more temps or part-time workers than full-time workers. The Obama policies have not targeted the people that they claim they're trying to benefit. It's just not happening, and it won't happen until the president understands that it's the regulation, it's the burden, it's the uncertainty that is causing this funk, the Obama funk that we're experiencing.
Lower class, 1% have done super fine or even better under Obama. It's the middle class that's really getting killed here, in my opinion. I want to play a game with you guys. So I'm going to read 3 Obama policies, and I'll get you to respond to which ones you think have helped the middle class. Starting with this list. Cut retirement tax breaks for the wealthy. Tax 529 college plans. Of course, he had to backtrack on that. Raise the minimum wage to $10.10. Peter, to you first. Any of those helping folks?
Well, I don't think so. No, I mean, if you raise the tax on retirement earnings, if you raise the minimum wage, you make hamburgers more expensive. That hurts the middle class. The estate tax, I don't see how raising the estate tax helps the middle class at all. On every available front, he talks about helping the middle class, but he really panders to the takers. People who think that by a government regulation or a change in a statute, they can get an extra $10 a month. I mean, basically, Mr. Obama has marshaled an army of takers, people who don't work very hard, the 10 million men who sit on their butts at home, don't look for a job, aren't employed. That's Obama's army of voters. That's not the middle class.
Brad, I'm going to give you a different list of 3 policies, and you can tell me if you think any of them have helped the middle class. Extending emergency unemployment insurance. This was in the aftermath of the recession. He wants to make community college free for 2 years and tax breaks for companies shipping jobs overseas. Any of this given a big boost to middle class folks?
Absolutely not, and particularly at college. I teach at a college, and look, nothing is free, and college is a business just like anybody else, and it's got healthy competition between private colleges and public colleges. And the fact of the matter is that you're now encouraging students to study and tell them that they don't have to pay for it. Anything you pay for is of value. And you go into a contract with a school if you need public assistance or financing with the obligation to pay it back. Not what the Democrats say, don't worry about it. You should worry about it because it's an obligation that you went into with open eyes.
Open eyes, and everybody's going to pay that bill. American taxpayers will have to bear that burden.
Yeah.
Peter and Brad, thanks for coming on. Good luck getting home in that snow in Washington.
Oh, it's a mess.